Thank you for joining us. I want to find out from you. You have seen what has been approved by the GES and then also monitored the concerns that some parents have had. Is this really one that the school has gone overboard, or it is within the boundaries of what the school is supposed to be demanding, first of all?
Thank you very much, Alfred, and good evening to your viewers. Well, I think that this list is very overboard if you compare it to the centralized prospectus that have been given to various schools to share with parents. And I think that, of course, we will not have the schools having the same items across the country. But as you normally say, you have plus or minus 2, or maybe plus or minus 5. So there could be about 2 to 5 items added on, or 2 to 5 items removed from the list from the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service. But if you look at this list, which is going viral, and other lists that are in the system from different schools, you are tempted to believe that it seems the authorities of these schools are not ready to align themselves with the directive from the GES, and they are asking the parents to bring things that are way out of place, and I think it's a little bit worrying.
Worrying and concerning. What should the GES be doing? I mean, at this time, because the parents are on social media, they've reached out to us, but then there was a prescribed or approved prospectus. And now you have some of the schools now doing their own thing. So who should be answering questions right now?
Well, I think that one of the things that the GES needed to have done was to have a task force in place as they announced the prospectus. You know, as humans as we are bound to have people going astray. And therefore, when you put out such a list and you want everybody to fall in line, you need a task force to help with the implementation of it. And then they should have also had a hotline where parents can quickly link up with the GES to complain when they feel that they are being overly burdened by prospectus from the school. So these two would have immediately prevented the school authorities from even going ahead to have some of these things coming out, because they knew that the GES is monitoring them, and if they don't take care, these things will get to the authorities, and they might be held responsible. So that would have been a preventive measure for us. But now that this is not, I think that they still need to quickly step in, call the headmasters of these institutions to order. I wouldn't say they should interdict them at this stage, but I think that they should be giving some warning, and then reassure parents that the centralized prospectus is still in place. There could be some variation a little from different schools depending on the needs of the schools, but it wouldn't be so much way overboard as we are seeing now. So assurance from the GES, calling the headmasters or the schools that are fall to order, and now ensuring that if anybody goes against the order after the warning and then the assurance from GES, then proper sanctions should be brought to bear on these individuals.
But to the extent that every year this situation comes up, right? This is not the first time we're hearing this. Every year we hear stories of schools putting up some items on their prospectus that is not approved or prescribed by the GES. So then what is the weakness there that the schools are exploiting, and what can be done to address this so that next year we don't come back talking about this perennial situation again?
I think it's because the variation in terms of prospectus that even led to the GES coming out with the centralized prospectus, because and we felt that the various schools were exploiting them. So I believe that we need to ensure compliance. I think that is the biggest thing that we need to do. Parents can agitate, right? But you see, you are taking your ward to school, and your ward is asked to bring other things. Some parents would. Now, at the end of the day, it's your ward that is left with the school authorities. So it boils down to GES ensuring compliance and making sure that those who go outside the requisite instructions are dealt with. I think that is the strongest point that we have to drum home, because you whatever you do, you get people exploiting the system. You get people trying to cash in by trying to get money from parents, innocent parents, and so on and so forth. And this has been going on for some time now. So you need to put in measures to ensure compliance. And this means that your district offices should be working seriously. Your free SHS secretariat at the various district levels should be doing random checks across schools. They are there, and then the authorities will just go to the school, ask of the school prospectus, and then find out what they are asking the children to bring and compare it to what the centralized prospectus is. Ask them why they are adding these things. So those random checks, those task force, let me put it that way, that would ensure compliance is what we need to do. That is what we are not doing. We think that by putting the prospectus out there and then making it public, parents will now be aware that this is what they need to take to the schools, and therefore we are good to go. No, the schools would definitely, some of the schools would definitely not fall in line, and therefore random checks, a task force to ensure compliance and all that is what we are not adding on to the general announcement that we are making. I think that if we start doing these random checks and then ensuring compliance and then making sure that parents are very much aware that this is what they are supposed to provide, I think with time we'll be able to get this thing right.
And, that's an important point there. And before I let you go, Dr. Peter Anti, a number of viewers who have been sharing this real time with us, their experiences and the concerns as well on this matter. This one, Abba Mankoy, says she actually lists the items: long and short broom, local, toilet rolls, car duster. I don't know what car duster we're doing there for anybody, but that's what she has there. There's foam, there's Dettol, Isaiah, bin bag, powdered soap, A4 sheet. It appears the A4 sheets runs through all of it. Are the children supposed to be providing A4 sheets, or is that an odd item there for you, Dr. Anti?
No, it's something that we've noticed for some time now. I think it's basically for printing. You see, the truth is that sometimes the schools are also left in a difficult situation in their attempt to provide quality education for our wards. But I don't think that they have to bring down on the parents, because most of these things, I mean, the A4 sheets are basically used for printing, and I know that most students are asked to bring an A4 sheet. This is supposed to be provided by the government, but they don't come in time. Some don't come at all, and therefore for the school to be able to keep running, they ask students to bring some of these things. So as we warn parents, as we are warning the school authorities that they should fall in line, we should also remind the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service that they owe it a duty to ensure that the schools have the requisite resources to be able to run the schools. If that is not done, then you are putting the school authorities in a difficult situation, and that ends up giving them the platform to start putting some of these things in the prospectus. So we should try and then do away with these things. Get the resources to the schools. Don't wait till last minute, because we know that the students are getting back to school on 18th, the first years. By this time, every administrative resource that is needed, I think that GES should be taking note of them. Ask headmasters to list the things that you need, administrative resources that you need, and then you provide it before the students get to school on the 18th of October. If these things are done consistently, then you have the moral authority and the power to ensure compliance. Because as I'm saying, you should ensure compliance. You should also, the GES should also note that when the resources are not there, the schools cannot run. So make sure you have given them everything that they need, so that when they are going overboard, you can come in and then ensure that the students are, the authorities are doing the right thing. So it's 50-50, as we will say. The resources sometimes in some of the schools are not there, and therefore heads and other people would want to take initiative to ensure that those resources that are needed to run the school daily are being supplied, are being provided by the parents, which I think is not right. But GES, right, Ministry of Education, should step in, provide these administrative resources, and make sure that they get to the schools. Then they can now ensure compliance and ask school authorities to stick to the centralized prospectus. And even if there will be variation, will be too much from the original items that have been sent to the schools.
Dr. Anti, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much. And a number of you still sharing